What is going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about a film that I am a little late to the game to, considering this came out over the past weekend, and I know a lot of people jumped on it and watched it right away. And to be completely honest, I had no desire to watch this movie. The Halloween franchise is not a franchise that I am super attached to. I love John Carpenter's original. There's a couple of the sequels that I enjoy, but as far as this David Gordon Green trilogy has gone, I was not a huge fan of the other two films, which I'll talk a little bit more about in the review. So I really didn't have much of a desire to watch this, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. Halloween Ends is directed by David Gordon Green. 4 years after the events of Halloween in 2018, Laurie has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So, I'm not sure what people expected from the end of this trilogy other than another cat and mouse, Laurie Strode, Michael Myers game, which, to be completely honest, after watching Halloween Kills, would be completely boring because Michael Myers is an elderly man. He literally got annihilated in the last movie to where he can barely move around. So how are they going to go about explaining all that? It's just really silly. So instead, David Gordon Green took an entirely different approach by introducing us to the character of Corey Cunningham, who at the beginning of the film we see experiences a tragedy where he is accused of murder and the repercussions of that tragedy and how it affects his life and how he is able to operate in the town of Haddonfield. We also follow Jamie Lee Curtis's character, who is finally seemingly starting to get her life together. She has a house with her granddaughter Allyson after Allison's mother passed away in the last movie, and they're seemingly functioning as a normal family. And most of this film focuses on Allyson and Corey, but also shows the ramifications of Michael Myers' actions on Haddonfield and how tragedy affects other people. So this movie is going to frustrate a lot of people, obviously, because people that say they're fans of this franchise just want more Michael Myers, which honestly, if you want my opinion on the situation, Michael Myers is the most boring of all the slasher icons. The reason why is he's just a guy who murders people. If you want to look at John Carpenter's original vision for Halloween, Halloween's vision was Michael Myers evil, Laurie Strode good, the two colliding, and that's it. There was never supposed to be another movie. So all this lore has been built around Michael Myers over the years, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. He's not a Freddy Krueger. He's not a Charles Lee Ray. He's not even a Leatherface. I mean, he's not interesting enough to build all this world around. He's just an evil guy. So what I like about this film is that David Gordon Green really looked at what John Carpenter wanted with the original film and applied it to this movie, which is that evil takes many shapes. Silly as that might sound, you're literally seeing the ramifications of what evil can do to multiple people, which I think is so cool because at the end of the day, Michael Myers isn't the important part of what makes the evil in the original Halloween. It's just evil incarnate. It's showing that people can do heinous things and treat people awfully. So seeing how this affects Corey was such a unique and interesting spin to me. And I was really appreciative of David Gordon Green taking a huge leap because I thought Halloween Kills was an absolutely garbage movie. I did not enjoy any of it. The dialogue was horrendous. That whole middle sequence at the hospital was one of the most useless scenes in a film I've ever watched. And this film tonally and atmospherically feels more like one of the original Halloween films that I love, like 1, 2, 3, H2O. It has that atmosphere. It feels really fun and interesting, and I really liked that a lot. There's a lot of goofy humor in this, which I feel like a lot of people were put off by, but for a horror community that is begging for films that feel like something out of the late 70s and early 80s, that's exactly what this felt like. The goofy radio DJ, the deaths in this movie were so overblown and comical in a way that felt like something out of that era. And the entire time I watched this movie, I just had a huge smile on my face because it really took a grounded story about evil and how it takes its form and how evil can affect other people, the effects of trauma on some awesome. And it also spun it to where it could have a comedic and fun tone as well, which I feel like not everyone is able to balance. And I've seen a lot of people saying that in 10 years that people will really love this movie. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. It just all depends on the perception of it. But I absolutely adored it. I just thought that it was such a cool and fun movie. I had some problems with it. I felt like the whole love story between Corey and Allyson was pretty ham-fisted. It was just kind of shoehorned in. But I did love Corey's character, and I thought using Michael as like outside of town, kind of hidden from other people through most of the movie, really kind of is reminiscent of John Carpenter's original vision, which was Michael Myers is not in a ton of the original Halloween. He's kind of looming in the background. And until the very third act of the movie, which similar to this, in the third act of the movie, he comes back into the game again. But like having his looming presence there and knowing how it's affecting others really was more impactful and haunting to me than him just going house to house and killing people again, which I don't know if that's what people wanted, but I don't think that that would have ever been the vision for what this was. I think Jamie Lee Curtis gets an incredible ending to her story, just similarly to H2O, which I wish the series would have ended at H2O, but we got these other movies, and I'm really glad because, like I said, I was completely underwhelmed by 2018. I thought Halloween Kills was a miserable experience, and this is the first time in this trilogy of films that I actually had fun, which was a refreshing surprise, and I'm actually really looking forward to watching this movie again. I will say I'm about to do a rank list of all of these now that I've watched Halloween Ends, so you can look forward to that video coming out in the near future, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about this movie because I know there's some severe hate, but I feel like the severe hate only comes from a place of people that are upset that Michael Myers wasn't in the movie for 2.5 hours, which honestly, if that's what you're looking for, it's just generic. And I mean, the last movie tried that and it wasn't good, and so I'm glad that they took a different approach and that it was a successful approach that had that atmosphere that I've been looking for in the previous 2 installments that they did not have whatsoever. So have you seen Halloween Ends? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was great. I had so much fun with this film. I thought it was such a good time, and I really am glad that I finally got around to seeing it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.